What are the new investments? What's changing? Should you invest in blockchain? What is blockchain? Check this out. So now, talking about what's changing and what's shifting. My style when it comes to investing is I follow macroeconomic trends, meaning I follow where the money's going. When I follow where the money's going, I try to drill down. Is the money headed here? If it's headed in this sector, my style is I will look at this sector and this industry, and among the companies in that sector and industry, who among them are dominating? Why? Because you have to understand, when money's going in that direction, that sector will earn, and the company that does the best in that industry will probably reap more profits. Reaping more profits, the stock price will follow. And that also has been my style in looking at particular trends. For me to be able to talk about that, let me give you a backdrop first on what's changing. Because here's what I do. I try to find something that's about innovation. But not just innovation. Innovation that changes the status quo. Innovation that starts to disrupt things. Innovation that, because of this innovation, it makes lives of people even better. I think this one is 5, 10, 15 years far from us, but it has gained a lot of traction because of a lot of people are speculating in it. Blockchain. When people talk about blockchain, they always think about what? Bitcoin. Yes or no? But here's the thing. Bitcoin and blockchain, it's not necessarily the same. It's just like me saying that, this is the best analogy I can give you. Are you familiar with Gmail? Yes? Gmail rides on an email application that rides the internet. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that rides the blockchain network. So Gmail is to Bitcoin, email is to cryptocurrency, and the internet is to blockchain. Blockchain is such a larger platform than what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is just a derivation. Bitcoin is just one cryptocurrency in this large space of what could possibly be the future. Now, here's the thing. What is blockchain? What is it necessarily? Anong tulong na? What's the hype about it? To make it easy, this is the best explanation I could give you. Blockchain is essentially just a ledger. That's it. What's a ledger? A ledger, for example, for a bank, essentially, it's where you put your transactions. Yes? That in a bank, for example, I want to put 1 million pesos and my balance is 0. The ledger will see 0 plus 1 million, balance is 1 million. Yes? Then the next day, this is what happens. 1 million, I put another million, then I would have a balance of 2 million. Then on the third day, I will withdraw 1.5 million. So lalabas doon, 2 million minus what? 1.5. My balance will be 500,000. That's what happens in a ledger. Blockchain is just a ledger, meaning this. One block represents one data point. So try to imagine this as me putting 1 million into something that had 0 balance yet. Can you follow? Next, second day, I added another one. Another 1 million, putting my balance into what? 1 million plus 1 million equals 2 million. What's interesting about blockchain is this, and this is what's causing a lot of people to be interested in it. It's immutable. Meaning, the data that I have here, it can never be erased. It can never be edited. That's one. Number 2 is this. The data that I have here is highly correlated to this. Why? The only reason this became 2 million was because the first one was 1 million. Can you follow? Then moving on to the third day, you remove 1.5 million to 2 million, you're left with 500,000. Yes? And it's called a blockchain because it's a series of blocks that forms a very, 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 very large chain. Meaning, if I want to do something, I want to change the value, I cannot edit that block. I have to put another block on. Got it? Now, a lot of people are gaining interest in this because, imagine, If all of your data is in one source, that source can be hacked. Yes? But the thing about this is, if you want to hack this and change this data, you have to change every data in the chain because they're all related. Can you follow? And what's interesting about that is this. If you change every data in the chain, you don't just change that. You have to change everyone that's connected to the blockchain network. This is the closest example I can give you. Are you familiar with Wikipedia? Are you familiar with Britannica? Britannica, a 200-year-old encyclopedia, stopped production because of this. And here's the difference. Britannica is basically this. Britannica is the encyclopedia, yes or no? But they're not just the encyclopedia, they get all of the data, meaning they get people who would do the research, compile it, put it in your living room. In the 80s and in the 90s, everyone had an Encyclopedia Britannica, yes? Wikipedia changed all of that. Why? Wikipedia, they're an encyclopedia, but they don't even make their own content. Why? All of the data inside Wikipedia is uploaded by everyone. Hundreds, thousands of millions of users that are uploading data there. Can you follow? That's how a blockchain network works as well. Everyone gets to upload data. So now, kunyari gusto kong dayain. Maglalagay ako ng entry sa Wikipedia. Marvin Germo is a 6-footer from Africa. So, the other 999,000 people know that, mukha ba akong 6-footer? Hindi naman, di ba? Not really. So, they will see that, hindi totoo yan. So, my entry will be invalid. The blockchain network is so transparent that everyone sees what's happening. Can you follow? So, you cannot just change any data because everyone sees it. If it's inconsistent, it gets voided. So imagine the applications of this. This can work even for elections. Imagine when you place your votes, and I'm not just talking about Philippine elections, I'm talking about elections globally. You put your votes in a ballot. Instead of it going to one server, it goes to an entire blockchain and everyone sees the votes. Everyone sees the transactions and it cannot be edited. Another example, OFWs. Did you know that the remittance industry in the entire world is $600 billion US dollars, and Philippine remittances will hit around $30 billion US dollars this year. We're around 5% of the entire remittance network. But the thing about that is this: if I want to send money to my relatives in the Philippines, this is the OFW, this is the relatives. If I want to send that, there's something that you call an intermediary, meaning the money will pass through that. Can you follow? For this example, Western Union. If you send money to Western Union, syempre, do you have to pay fees? Yes or no? Yes. And the more layers of institutions you pass through, the longer it takes before the money actually gets to the recipient. What blockchain does is basically this. It removes Western Union and it's you already communicating with the sender. It's the sender and the receiver communicating with each other, passing through the blockchain network without a middleman. What does that do? What's the effect of it? Since wala ng Western Union, the fees, very minimal. Since wala ng Western Union, what happens? Transactions will be faster, slower, faster. Think about it as, familiar ka sa Uber? Yes? It's like you booking an Uber, pero you're not booking in a central system called Uber. You're booking something through the blockchain network. That's one of the biggest applications of it. Or, I'm not sure if you know this. In Honduras, a dictator came in. The dictator, what he did was this. May mga title yung mga lupa. What he did was he changed all of the titles. He gave it to all of his friends. In a blockchain network, since it's immutable, you cannot change any of the data there anymore. So it gives a transparency and has so much applications. Here's the thing. There's so many applications for both blockchain and it's amazing. However, here's the thing. As much as the applications are still amazing, I really believe it's like the internet in 1994. It's still early. It's still starting. The problem is this. people are speculating on the value of this coin. The application is good, but we don't know the value. Bitcoin hit 19,000 US dollars last year, end of the year. It hit 19,000. People bought it at the hope of hitting 100,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. Here's the thing, Bitcoin dropped to 6,000. Those who place it at 19,000, are they happy or sad? Sad. Why? Because people were speculating at the hope that it hits 100,000. Please remember this. Is hope a good thing? Yes or no? Hope is good, but it's not an investment strategy. You cannot place your entire portfolio with the hope that it will just go up. You cannot. And people are just speculating because a lot of people will buy it, it will go up. We're not yet there. The applications may be good, but as an investment, it's still at best still speculative.